we caught them with their pants down. They were sitting there, and we got them, and it's not something where, the CDC says they're doing this and all that. No, we know what they're going to use them for. And we put it on TV, and I think it's like I said, I think this is going to be the first time in mainstream media you're going to see a show that truly looks at the subject of these coffins and these FEMA camps and all of that. And it's such a setup because you can see it coming. They're going to introduce a virus, whether it's through these vaccinations or whatever, that is going to be a threat to the populace, and then boom, you use that to start locking things down. And same thing with illegal immigration. Oh my God, all these illegal immigrants and things like that. We got to start putting them somewhere. So let's start rounding people up.
And then that sets up the infrastructure for entire families, and that's actually what came out in '86 in the Iran-Contra hearings with Colonel North, and we have those video clips where they admitted the cover story for building the camps was for the illegals, but it's really for the American people.
And that is a chilling video footage when, the one senator is there trying to get that out onto the table, and then he gets shouted down, essentially, by the other people who are supposed to be investigating this. And say, well, you can't talk about that. It's just frightening. It's amazing what we let them get away with.
Well, I'll tell you what else is frightening. Glenn Beck said he'd investigated camps. They were real. He was going to expose them, and a few weeks later said none of them are real. And I even predicted how he would do it with straw men. I mean, they got to Glenn Beck.
Well, Glenn Beck to me he's essentially he's a corporate mouthpiece. He's a safe version. When they want to quell activism and things like that, what they'll do is they'll try to move it into something that they run and own, and to where that way they can keep control over it. And I think that's purely what Glenn Beck is there for. He'll allude to something that we're all talking about, and he'll talk about it for a day on his show, and then he'll come back and bury it, just like you said, with a straw man or something like that. So all the people, so that way he can still see, ooh, I'm counterculture, ooh, I'm giving you the truth, but look, I disbanded this, because that keeps, your average person going, who may be a little bit inclined to know the truth. It kind of keeps that person like, oh, okay, well, Glenn said it's okay, so it must be all right. Glenn Beck is purely he's just a corporate man. He's earning a paycheck and making millions. He's not someone who's I believe is out truly fighting, for our rights. I think he uses our activism and our want to make this country better, and he uses that to essentially, make money and also toe the party line, and keep us going in the direction they want us to go.
I tend to agree with you, but I tend to agree with you.
Opinion,
Well, I tend to agree with you, Tyrel Ventura, but now him coming out and saying the government may blow up a federal building to blame it on the American people, I think he realizes that this is very serious, and I don't know how they could allow him to do that. This is groundbreaking.
It is groundbreaking. I'm very shocked that he would do that, unless they're going to try to turn it into like a political issue, which it sounds like they kind of are already.
Oh, no, they have. They said Democrats and some mid-level foundations are going to do it.
Which is what they want people to do anyway, is that they want us fighting each other, and they want us fighting each other and not them. So that makes logical sense that, they were going to stage a false flag attack, and it's the Democrats who are going to do it. Because then that gets one half of the country going like, oh, my God, I knew that they would stage these false flag attacks, and it's all the Democrats' fault. And what that does is it splits us and divides us, which is exactly what they want to happen. They want us to believe that, it's just one party. It's not the ruling class that's doing this. And I think that's exactly where that story's going, and that's why they probably allowed him to do it.
Very well said, Tyrel. You've got this stuff down. You're one of the main people that got your father to start looking into the whole New World Order system.
Yeah, it was, I was saying, my father he got me to start questioning, media and really questioning history and current events that happened, through his research into JFK. And, and so as I, continue, as I kind of perceive the world that way and start paying attention to more and more things, that's when I kind of discovered the New World Order and the 9/11 and things like that, and I was bringing that to him. And it I guess it's father-son bonding.
So the circle is now complete. He woke you up, then you woke him up even more.
Exactly, and we wake each other up a lot of times. He'll read something that'll shock me that I haven't heard before, and vice versa. And working together on this show, it happens all the time. And of course now, I mean, even this summer, I mean, I had a very interesting thing happen to me this summer while working on the show.
Stay there. Yeah, let's talk about some of the harassment and things that have happened. But it's great to see a father and son working like this. I hope someday my son can work with me. Hope I'm still around then, or that all of us are still around. Tyrel Ventura, stay with us.
Is it really possible to get out of debt without payment plans or attorneys? 18 years ago, we developed a program that has made thousands debt-free in just 90 days. It's called Zero Debt in 90 Days, and it works for all credit card debt, medical bills, even collection lawsuits.
When I first joined, I was being sued. So I used the program methods, and after filing one piece of paper, the collection lawsuit was dismissed.
With Zero Debt in 90 days, your success is guaranteed in writing. There is no other program of its kind. Don't be alone when creditors gang up on you. Let our team of experts provide the resources to fight back and stop creditors in only 90 days, guaranteed. Prevent wage garnishments, bank levies, and stop collection calls with our proven program. Call Zero Debt in 90 days now, 800-477-9256, and ask for free information from an expert who also completed our program. 800-477-9256 or ZeroDebtGuaranteed.com. 800-477-9256 or ZeroDebtGuaranteed.com.
Again, the Congressional Budget Office sounds the alarm. This time warns of Greek-style U.S. debt crises. You heard me right. The GAO is drawing a parallel between the U.S. economy, its debt, and the current Greek economic meltdown. With the debt-to-GDP chart climbing into unfamiliar territory, the growing budget deficit will rise to unsupportable levels. Hi, this is Ted Anderson. The Federal Debt and Risk of Financial Crises document the CBO has published is a must-read for every American, covering the risk of continued deficit spending coupled with an aging population and the rising interest rates spell economic disaster. It's imperative that you get a copy of this document and study it for yourself. Call me today at 800-686-2237 and I'll send you a free copy. Again, call 800-686-2237 and ask for your copy of the CBO document. Once again, you need to read this government report. Call 800-686-2237.
The question is, where should the American people draw their line in the sand?
What have we got? A republic or a monarchy?
A republic is based on a constitution which protects minority rights.
Not democracy, not mob rule, two wolves and a sheep voting on what's for dinner.
So they think they own our land, they think they own our water, children, our education, our money.
So we have to define who we are and what we will tolerate.
Somebody's going to ask you what you did during the Patriot Uprising.
You are being warned.
We have the facts. We have the Constitution. We have the Bill of Rights. We have common law. Knowledge is power, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm so excited to be able to offer you Don't Tread on Me, Rise of the Republic. Tyranny is upon us, but liberty and the sleeping giant that is the American people is rising. A new tool in the info war. Don't Tread on Me. Order it at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139 and support independent, patriotic Liberty films.
9 years, thousands of clients worldwide, amazing results. And here's more proof of the effectiveness of how Heart and Body Extract supports good circulation and healthy arterial flow.
My name is Crystal. I'm a 45-year-old and live in Houston, Texas. I was diagnosed with having mitral valve prolapse 10 years ago. My cardiologist said surgery and drugs was the only thing he could offer me.
What did Crystal do?
I ordered Heart and Body Extract in August 2006. When I first took my first 15 drops, I embraced the formula and could even feel the goodness of the formula starting to work.
Clean, clear arteries are happy arteries after using Heart and Body Extract. Learn more at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305. That's hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305. HB Extract comes with a 100% ironclad money-back guarantee. Details at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract.
Ladies and gentlemen, Max Keiser is coming up with all the financial news. Drudge Report's top link to us for 7 days straight. He's got our new story out about how this is a big national issue now with the TSA abuse. More has come out on that I can't even say on air because of all the profanity. but it deals with the TSA and what they call the naked body scanners. That's from the Atlantic Monthly magazine. Okay, that's prestigious. This is really happening. So we've gone to a whole new level here that we've broken through into. We're searching the term FEMA camps today. Put it in Google over and over again. I have no doubt you'll make it the #1 search term. Then people will find out. I mean, this is big, okay? I went to these FEMA centers with Jesse. I went to Georgia with him. They went a bunch of other places. I didn't go. They've got these congressmen confronted. Jesse talked about the harassment and weird stuff that happened along the way. Tyrel, you are ready. So you want to tell the story of the guy in the suit in your trash. Tell folks about it.
It was interesting. You know, I live here in Los Angeles, and I'm not dodging rocket fire from the coastline. I was coming home back in July, early July, when we were first kind of compiling, just started shooting the show. Got home at about 2 o'clock after 2 a.m. after being out at dinner meetings and things like that. Came up my front entrance. My cousin who I live with was coming up the back entrance, and he says, "Hey, Ty, there's someone going through our trash in the alley." And in L.A., sadly, we have a pretty good homeless population. So I was like, "Well, that's kind of normal." And he says, "No, the guy's in a suit." I said, "Really?" And so I walked out, into the back little balcony there and looked down, and sure enough, there's a guy, probably, local hire PI or something like that, going through going through paperwork, that I'd thrown away. He wasn't finding bottles and cans or anything like that, just literally going through any kind of paperwork documentation.
I wish you would have gotten a video camera. You got to keep one locked and loaded at all times. What'd you say to him?
The moment I got down there and then went over there, he ran off, and, I kind of yelled after him, but, he kind of ran off into the night, without a word, and, but it was very interesting. The next day I asked all my neighbors, who the four other units in our place, and, asked them, is anyone anyone going through a lawsuit, or is anyone in a divorce or anything like that? And no, so the only person who was doing anything that would probably necessitate that was myself. So it happens, and once you get strange calls in the night and all sorts of that kind of harassment. So obviously we're shaking them up. Obviously they're nervous about what we're presenting, which is good. That means we're doing our job.
Well, a lot of other stuff has happened behind the scenes as well. People go through a lot to bring this information to the public. I was, talking with Charlie Sheen and Mr. Cuban, Mark Cuban, when he was going to put out Loose Change in theaters nationwide, and they called up one of the producers and in Hollywood who was going to distribute it, and said your kids aren't going to be safe. A general who was in the family called up and said your children won't be safe. This is a message. And I had to hear that. And then Mark Cuban, I was told, had been threatened by the Securities and Exchange Commission if he did not make the film. He got scared and didn't make it, didn't release it, and still they indicted him, and he released to the New York Times their emails threatening him from the Securities and Exchange Commission, and he got phone calls. I knew about that a year before it was in the news. I mean, they call up and threaten to cut my wife's head off, to do stuff to my kids. That's why my house has got 6 surveillance cameras on it, and we're locked and loaded inside. We're not living in fear. If you come to my house to hurt me and my family, know you will meet resistance. But this is real, and these FEMA camps are real, and this is groundbreaking. Folks, you've heard on the show, I promote a little bit the other shows, and they're important. Plum Island, bioweapons, you name it. But even episodes I'm in, people are like, you're not even really promoting this. I'm promoting this episode because it is super groundbreaking. Tyrel, final comments.
My final comment is just, hey, you know what? Tell your friends and neighbors, watch this show, because it is so important that we get people aware of this very dangerous issue that faces us as a country, and we got to put a stop to this. And hopefully, if we get enough people that shook up by what they see on TV, and then they go out and do their own research, they'll hold their political leaders' feet to the fire on this issue, and hold their media accountable on this issue for not truly reporting it, not truly investigating it. Because the more news outlets and the more we talk about this, and the more we uncover these things and bring them to the light of day, they can't operate. They want to operate in secrecy, and if we take away their secrecy, then they have to close them down. And we're still we still have the ability to do that. They have not locked us down yet, but we have to be diligent and good citizenry and prevent this from happening. Thankfully shows like ours and yours,
absolutely,
will get the rest of everyone else trying. And these Google searches and making them the keywords of the day, that's important. You know,
well, Tyrel,
people see that.
Unfortunately, we're out of time, but you have been an exemplary